Balance is a lie sold to people who are afraid to commit. It's a pleasant fantasy wrapped in responsible language. The idea that you can give equal focus to your health, your work, your relationships, your ambitions, your passions all at once, and somehow excel at all of them. It sounds mature. It sounds enlightened. It sounds like something a reasonable person would strive for. And it's complete fiction. Balance is not the strategy of someone who wants something badly. It's the strategy of someone who has already decided they don't want anything enough to let something else suffer. Every significant thing you've ever seen built in the real world was born inside a season of brutal, intentional imbalance. Every great company started with someone living inside their work. Every meaningful body transformation came from months where the gym dominated life. Every serious creative achievement required disappearance, obsession, and neglect of something else. That's not opinion, that's pattern. The founder didn't balance their startup and their hobbies. They lived in the garage. The artist didn't maintain perfect social harmony. They vanished. The athlete didn't juggle priorities politely. Their life became training. To believe you can produce similar results while maintaining a tidy, well-rounded weekly schedule is not optimism. It's self-deception. The world doesn't reward balanced. The world rewards sharp, a point, a blade, a concentrated force applied to a single problem until it breaks. You cannot be a blade and a sphere at the same time. One cuts, the other rolls in place. That's why balance is so attractive. It lets you feel virtuous without being dangerous. It gives you a socially acceptable excuse for diluted effort. I'm keeping things balanced. No, you're keeping things safe. You're avoiding the terror of choosing one thing and staking your identity on it. Because choosing one thing means something else must lose. Choosing one thing means you will fail publicly if that thing fails. It means you can't hide behind a crowded calendar and say life is complicated. It means clarity, and clarity is unforgiving. It's easier to fail at 10 things vaguely and call it a complex life than to fail at one thing clearly and have nowhere to hide. Here's the truth you won't find in lifestyle blogs or productivity podcasts. Progress is not the product of harmony. It is the product of temporary chaos. You create chaos in your schedule, in your habits, in your priorities, and you direct all of it toward a single objective. You let other plates spin or wobble or even crash because the one plate you're holding is the one that actually matters. This isn't recklessness, this is hierarchy. And no, this isn't about burnout. Burnout is what happens when your chaos has no direction. Burnout is being imbalanced across 10 demands you didn't consciously choose. Burnout is reaction. What we're talking about here is a surgical strike. You identify the front that matters most right now, and you deploy everything there. Most people confuse exhaustion with effort. They confuse stress with progress. They're tired, but they're not advancing. That's not intensity. That's drift. Intentional imbalance feels different. It's heavy, but it's clean. You know exactly why you're tired. You know what you're building. You know what you're sacrificing and why. There's meaning in the strain. And yes, there is a cost. You will be called selfish. You will be called obsessed. You will miss birthdays, dinners, weekends, and casual catch-ups. You will send apologies instead of showing up. You will feel the friction of disappointing people who are used to your availability. Good. That friction is the tax. That discomfort is the receipt. That's how you know you're actually building something instead of just maintaining appearances. The alternative is far worse. The alternative is a lifetime of polite, balanced, respectable regret. A life where everything was kept in harmony and nothing was pushed to completion. A life where you did just enough everywhere to never break through anywhere. People don't regret working too hard for something they believed in. They regret never committing deeply enough to find out what they were capable of. That's why the question, how do I balance my life, is the wrong question. It assumes equilibrium is the goal. It assumes stillness is success. The real question is sharper and more dangerous. What am I currently imbalanced for? And if your honest answer is nothing, then you've just diagnosed the problem. You are in perfect equilibrium. And in physics, an object in perfect equilibrium does not move. Motion requires imbalance. Acceleration requires tilt. Progress requires choosing a direction and allowing yourself to fall toward it. You must choose to fall. Pick a direction. Let yourself lean. Let your life become lopsided, awkward, and focused. Not forever, but long enough to matter. Go all in on the business and let your social life shrink to a series of unread messages and apologetic texts. Go all in on your health and let your work output be merely good instead of flawless. Go all in on your family and let your ambition idle without guilt. This is not abandonment. This is sequencing. You are not saying no forever. You are saying not now. And not now is how anything meaningful ever gets built. Then, once you've broken through, you catch your balance. You recover, you repair, you sleep, you reconnect. You swing the pendulum back. That is counterbalancing. Not the coward's constant, cautious equilibrium, but the strategist's deliberate rhythmic lunge. Advance, recover, advance again. Most people will never do this. They will cling to the myth of multitasking their dreams. They will try to be everything to everyone at the same time and end up being nothing remarkable to themselves. They will remain balanced, average, and quietly furious about it. They'll watch others break through and tell themselves stories about luck, privilege, timing, anything except the truth. That those people chose imbalance when it mattered, but you don't have to. You can keep distributing your weight evenly, keeping everyone comfortable, keeping your calendar full, and go nowhere. Or you can commit to a direction, fall forward, and discover how fast you can actually run when you stop trying to stand still. That's the choice. And it's not between balance and burnout. It's between equilibrium and movement.